No one has helped more people become financially successful than Dave Ramsey. As a result, financial gurus love criticizing Dave Ramsey. After all, if you know more than Dave Ramsey, then you must be incredibly smart. But if Dave Ramsey is wrong all the time, why has he helped more people than any other personal finance educator? The truth is that Dave Ramsey is typically right even when he's technically wrong. Let me show you what I mean by going through the top 4 reasons why people criticize Dave Ramsey. The debt snowball is Dave Ramsey's signature debt repayment strategy. You pay off your debts from lowest balance to highest balance. On paper, this is not the best way to pay off your debts. The mathematically best way to pay off your debts is called the debt avalanche. To maximize your money, you should pay off your debts from highest to lowest interest rates. Simply put, you're paying off the loans that are charging you the most to borrow. But Dave Ramsey loves the debt snowball. He's not an idiot. He can do the math. He is aware of what is mathematically best on paper. The problem is that the debt avalanche calculation doesn't factor in the percent of people who won't succeed compared to the people doing the debt snowball. The debt snowball has a huge psychological advantage over the debt avalanche. If you have 11 different debts, you're going to have a lot of creditors going after you. Tons of bills, tons of emails, tons of angry people. It's a mess. The debt snowball quickly simplifies the situation and gives you some quick wins. You'll find joy in watching the list of creditors disappear, and you'll quickly see that yes, you can get out of debt. For financially disciplined people, the debt avalanche is great. But how often do financially disciplined people end up drowning in debt? When you start to think about the reality of the situation, you start to realize why Dave Ramsey loves the debt snowball. The people who struggle with financial discipline are the ones most likely to end up in debt. And these are the people that could really use that extra psychological kick that the debt snowball offers. The next topic that people criticize Dave Ramsey for is paying off all your debt except your mortgage. Dave Ramsey is hell-bent on getting people out of debt for good. Now, getting out of debt is great and all, but, what if the debt is low interest? Historically, the S&P 500 has produced about 10% per year. Instead of paying off your student loans at 5% interest, why not just put that same money into the stock market? 10% is more than 5%, so obviously, you'll become richer. Just look at the math. Once again, the financial gurus don't think about all the factors. First, the stock market can be stagnant for decades at a time. Japan's stock market was crippled after the real estate bubble in the 1990s and took 30 years to recover. The United States stock market took 13 years to recover after the dot-com boom because the 2008 recession happened. The stock market is not guaranteed to produce 10% per year. But the bigger issue that the gurus always miss is people's rate of investing. When Dave Ramsey says you need to get out of debt, he is saying eat rice and beans until you're debt-free. People are putting between 40 to 60% of their income towards paying off their debt. They are blazing a trail towards financial success because they're living way below their means and are focused on making their money work for them. People who decide to keep the low interest debt around aren't keeping up with that same rate of investment. They're skipping ahead to the fun part of personal finance, where they make passive income. These mathematically minded folk typically choose to invest between 15 and 25% of their income. And there is the problem. The debt-focused Dave followers are going to put so much more of their money to work than the math-focused people. Even if the math people are likely to get a higher rate of return, they're going to underperform the results of the people who are focused on becoming debt-free. The third point people love to criticize is credit cards. After all, if you pay off your credit card every single month, you're going to get a discount on everything you buy. It's free money. 2% flat cash back is the greatest thing of all time. Airline points, Uber Eats discounts. It's amazing stuff. But Dave Ramsey says credit cards are for suckers. Why is he turning down free money? The data clearly indicates that credit cards are not free money. Credit cards are incredibly expensive for most people. Over half of credit card holders making under $100,000 a year have carried a bounce during the past year. Even if you make more than $100K a year, you have nearly a 40% chance of carrying a bounce on your credit card in the past year. When it comes to credit cards, people often pay the interest rate. The most you can get of credit card rewards is about 2% unless you want to get into the world of annual fees and additional financial requirements. If you fail to pay off your credit cards, you pay roughly 20% in interest. Now, I'm not a math genius here, but 20% interest is a lot more than 2% in rewards, especially when you factor in that you have a roughly a 50% chance on being on the losing side. Looking at the outcomes of people who use a credit card, it's genuinely horrifying. The winners get a little bit of cash, your measly 2%, and the losers get burdened with debt that could destroy their financial future. With data showing that most people can't use a credit card responsibly, it's clear why Dave Ramsey's credit card advice keeps yielding results. For the average person, credit cards have been harmful, not helpful. For every 2% winner, there's a 20% loser. The fourth point that people criticize Dave Ramsey over is his approach to selecting a good investment. Dave Ramsey is a huge believer in active funds. This is when you're paying a team of stock pickers to buy a portfolio of investments that will outperform an index. For example, there are active funds that are trying to outperform the S&P 500. Buy the winners, cut the losers, easy, right? Dave has made it clear that finding a good active fund is easy to do. Just find an active fund that has outperformed its index over the past 10 years. I'll let him explain it.
And my mutual fund groupings have beat the market. You just pick mutual funds that have outperformed the S&P. It's really not rocket science. Not all of them have outperformed the S&P. A lot of them haven't. Over half haven't. But don't pick one that didn't. You would be better to do that. But I mean, you know, it's like some of you sitting at the racetrack and you're going to bet on horses. I don't bet on horses just because I don't know anything about it, and I don't gamble because I don't like losing money. I work too hard for it. So, but if you're sitting, I went to a dog track one time or a horse track one time when I was a youngster, and they tell you, you know, this horse has not won a race ever. So bet on that one, stupid. You know, this horse won the last 3 races. Well, I probably might bet on him. You know, that's all you're doing when you're picking a mutual fund. Did it beat the market? If it didn't beat the market, then don't pick that mutual fund. That's not rocket science. That horse hadn't won a race. Don't bet on that horse. Why is this hard? It's not hard.
Dave believes that if an active fund has done well in the past, it will do well in the future. The data, however, indicates that this isn't the case. Morningstar is a famous investment research company known for assigning a 1 to 5-star rating for different funds. Getting a 5-star rating means that this fund is in the top 10% of its respective category. Back in 2014, the Wall Street Journal took the 5-star funds from 2004 and compared them to where they were 10 years later. Only 14% of the 5-star funds from 2004 were still in the top 10%. So why does Dave Ramsey continue to insist that the approach of looking at past performance works? Dave Ramsey knows he's preaching against the math. So what part of the calculation is he factoring in that other people aren't? It's the fact that Dave Ramsey wants you to get with a financial advisor. People who go down Dave Ramsey's path typically struggle with good investing behavior. It doesn't matter how good your investment choice is if you aren't going to manage your money correctly. Now, there are a lot of financial advisors out there, some of which are old school. The old school financial advisor mentality was that a financial advisor is supposed to pick you winning investments that outperform the market. This advisor will charge you a lot in fees, but they're going to make up for those fees. So it's all good. The finance industry is rapidly moving towards a more data-driven approach, where index funds and low-fee advisors make up the market. The real value of a financial advisor is controlling your behavior. Returning back to Dave, for the next decade or two, I expect you will still preach active funds as a great choice. That way, if you use Dave Ramsey's SmartVestor Pro network to find an advisor, you are more worried about finding someone you like instead of what funds they will invest you in. What matters most for people who have bad financial behavior is having someone on their side, not index funds versus active funds. Dave may shift his approach in the future, but only after the vast majority of financial advisors are index fund focused advisors. Looking at all these points in totality, it's clear why Dave's the best. Each choice he makes is focused on giving people with bad financial habits the highest chance of getting into a good place financially. This is a very different calculation than what is mathematically the best way to squeeze every nickel out of the system you can. This behavior-focused approach is why Dave has helped the most people find financial success. This isn't by accident, it's by design.